Hey everyone, welcome back to Fran Opps Live. I am your host, Jared Nassiff, and today we're diving into one of the fastest growing and I would say most misunderstood, one of the most misunderstood sectors in all of franchising, health and wellness. Now, it's super, I love it. Incredible that like this space in this sector is growing so rapidly over the last couple of years because we're seeing such a significant shift in our culture right now that is so many things from all these different fitness programs and influencers and blah 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 to people losing weight in record numbers to alcohol sales and those things being way down. Like, it's incredible. And as someone who genuinely, like, I am a student of health and wellness, and I prioritize that in the way I lead my family. Like, it's a big deal to us. And I love seeing that kind of growing across the culture. So this space has been growing rapidly alongside it. As you can imagine, we're seeing explosive growth across the country. Now, new wellness concepts, because of it, new wellness concepts are popping up everywhere. And because consumer demand is literally skyrocketing, and brands are offering services like IV therapy and hormone treatments and recovery solutions, and they're all scaling. A lot of them are scaling really fast. But in franchising, here's the reality: because while this opportunity in this space is real, so are the risks. Like the regulatory landscape around med spas and wellness services, they're tightening, and too many franchisees, I think, they jump in without really first understanding the things like the compliance and the oversight required to run these businesses both safely and legally. And so that's exactly why today's conversation is so crucial. That's why today is so important. Joining me today is Dr. Ann Edwards, CEO and founder of TherAnnu, for here's what we're talking about today: why most wellness franchises don't age well. And Ann brings a unique perspective on how to build a wellness brand that's not just trendy, but it's built to last. And so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what kind of separates sustainable wellness concepts from the ones that fade fast. We're going to talk about how TherAnnu is doing things differently. And we're going to talk about what future owners need to know, which could be some of you, ideally, future owners, what you guys need to know before stepping into this booming and yet complex space before you just become the next Gold's Gym, so to speak. So, without wasting any more time, let's dive right in. This is Fran Opps Live. Right. And hey, good to see you. Welcome to the greatest group in the metaverse, as we like to say.
Thank you for having me. Very
Yeah,
excited.
of course. Well, I'm excited to get to know your story. I'm excited to hear a little bit more with TherAnnu, but really to discuss why. I mean, we see these brands, these franchise concepts, these in fitness and health and wellness space pop up all the time, and it is almost as saturated as like the senior care space it seems to be sometimes, and even then there's some overlap between those two concepts. But I'm excited to have this conversation too and learn from you in it. But first, where are you coming from? Where are you joining us from?
Physically, I'm in Maryland, outside Baltimore, Maryland.
Is that home for you?
It is, yes. Yep, been here
Awesome.
over
Are
20
you a
years.
Ravens fan?
I am a Ravens fan. Yes.
Oh, okay, awesome, good. Well, we'll see how they do next year with the new head coach situation and what's going on there. But we'll leave that for another day. So, and let's dive right in. Tell us a little bit about your story, and your background, kind of how what led you to create TherAnnu.
Yeah, so I'm a doctor of physical therapy. Been practicing, I think it's over 23 years now. Time flies. And I started out about 10 years. I worked in corporate physical therapy. So I was managing offices. That was really pivotal in helping me understand the business
Mm.
side of physical therapy and healthcare, where I had to keep an eye on, the EBITDA and the KPIs and, all that
Yep.
fun stuff. And my clinics did well. But there was a point when I just needed more. So at that
Mm.
point, I stepped away, dabbled in a few things, and then ended up opening my own practice. So
Okay.
at that same time, I learned something called dry needling. I don't know
Mm.
if you're familiar with that, but it's an up and coming treatment for pain conditions that is
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
life
I've
changing.
never experienced it myself, but it sounds terrible.
It does.
Dry needling.
It does.
Yeah.
It does, but people love it, and
People
some
love it. Yeah.
people they hate it, but they love it because of the results.
Yeah, I get that.
Uh,
Mhm.
but so got into that and opened my own practice doing just dry needling, and did that for a few years, and then needed a little bit more. So then started looking into some of the technology that was out there that was like whole body cryotherapy, infrared sauna. It was stuff that this was 12, 13 years ago that wasn't really around much.
Mm.
But I looked into the science and it was sound. It seemed like it would be great for my patients. It would help them recover from dry needling. It would help them
Huh.
get better faster. So moved into a larger location,
Okay.
started using some of these services in combination with the physical therapy, added some massage therapists, and then we ran out of space. So then in
Yeah.
2020 of all times, moved into a larger space. And that's when really the TherAnnu brand started to develop more fully.
Yeah.
We at that time added skin therapy is what we call it for natural aesthetics.
Okay.
We added some more services like salt room. We added another infrared sauna. We added some compression therapy. So really, we rounded out our service mix, and
Mm.
then really started getting into our membership model and packages, and really getting all of the systems together
Yeah.
over that time.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So how long have you been franchising then for TherAnnu?
So we've only been franchising for about 2 years now.
Mhm.
And it's been a very slow build. We've been working with some different companies
Yeah.
on, putting together, all the nitty gritty. It was
Mhm.
a lot more than I
Yeah.
anticipated.
Yeah.
But happy I did, and it's really helped me put a fine look at, what is working in the system. What do we need to refine?
Yeah.
Where do
Mm.
we need to,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's so
all that.
crucial that that brands, I think, take that time to slow down and build it. As you said, the nitty gritty, like
Mhm.
spend time investing into that, because you see it all the time, right? You see wellness, especially in the wellness space, brands that explode over a very short window of time, right? And so, but a lot of these concepts, I think, they seem to fade out just as fast. So
Yeah.
for you, from your perspective, why without name calling and calling whatever, but from your perspective, why do you feel like a lot of wellness franchises do struggle to last?
I think maybe they're more trend based, where just like the whole body cryotherapy, there were
Okay.
a lot of things
Mhm.
that started popping up that were
Yeah.
just offering that or that, and maybe a few other services. And if the trend fades, and there are people moving more towards like a cold plunge instead of whole body cryo.
Mhm.
So I'm sure that those businesses are hurting because that was where they put all their eggs in that basket.
Yeah.
So I think that's the issue that I see, is when you have a lack of depth in the
Mm.
business.
Yeah.
When it's everything is relying on that one service. So if that one service becomes irrelevant, so
Mhm.
does your business.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah. That's fair.
Like,
It seems to be not the case in like blue collar concepts that are built around like maybe home restoration. Like a lot of those companies are, they focus on one thing, right? And they do it really well. Now they have ways to communicate. They have different verticals and different ways of generating revenue and income, and they offer all these different services. But ideally, like the company is often built around one thing. We do plumbing, or we do window cleaning, or we do roofs. Like there's usually the one concept. But so you're kind of saying it doesn't really seem to work in the health and wellness space. Yet one of the greatest assets then would be to have kind of an eclectic range of different options. Although it's, for at least TherAnnu, it seems to be all focused around restoration, right? Like you don't have dumbbells and you're not helping people build up max strength, right? So within the health and wellness space, it's still focused around restoration, but you offer all these different verticals.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. And I think with some of those, like you said, with the plumbing and things like that, those are services that have been around forever. People need those services, and I feel like, massage and physical therapy can, I think, be put into those buckets as well. But other services, like maybe some of the recovery services that are more trend-based, they haven't stood the test of time yet to stand on their own. I think it's a little more risky to go in and just put everything into that realm without that depth with those anchored services.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, and there's a time and space for marketing to trends, right? Like, especially for entrepreneurs who are opportunistic, like that is the game, is trying to find what is culturally relevant and what is going to provide value that's going to make a lot of money all at the same time. It's not going to potentially last forever, but your goal is, how do I capitalize on this opportunity now? I think, and I think that you do see that a lot in the health and wellness space, is trying to capitalize on the opportunity of what is culturally relevant or trendy, but yet there's not maybe necessarily the back end side of things built out for the franchise system as a whole that are needed. I can remember we even have one health and wellness space that was here the last couple of years that it was like the second franchisee of the system, and just the system had the name, the brand itself hadn't been around for very long. They didn't really have any support staff. There wasn't like a proven playbook. And now there's always going to be a little higher risk, I think, for the first couple franchisees. But I think there's still, like, to your credit, taking the time to slow down and build out the system before you got into franchising seems to be the key differentiator for a lot of brands and future success of franchisees.
Yeah, and you can see what works, what doesn't. And we've done that for the past few years, where we've pulled things out, we've ramped things up, changed some structures here and there. And it's really, it's very fine-tuned at this point.
Yeah. So for you, as you guys continue to grow, and I know you're planning for how to avoid certain mistakes and issues and roadblocks and obstacles. So what are some of those you are seeing? What are some of the biggest mistakes you see other wellness brands make as they grow, especially in how they kind of position themselves or support their franchisees?
I think first off, it might be not getting franchisees that are the right fit and looking more for just who can they get. I think in the end, that's going to hurt the brand and hurt the clients coming in. For example, we're looking for people that are passionate about holistic wellness, that they live and breathe holistic wellness. Yeah. And then it makes sense that that's going to trickle down into their staff, and that's going to trickle into their clients, and the clients are going to better understand why they should come in for these services. That education component is crucial. And without it, these are some weird services that we offer. And most of the clients that come in, they don't really know what they're getting themselves into. They might come in for one of those anchor services like massage. And then the massage therapist tells them, I think the biomat would you really benefit from this service. So next time you book your massage, I want you to book the biomat first and then the massage. Yeah. So there's a lot of pairing of services and educating the clients of why they should be there.
Yeah, that's so good. And that's such a good point, is you were able to go, hey, let's identify the problem and here's the solution. you've never heard of this solution, let me educate you on what it is. I mean, that's a great business model there in and of itself, but also one that's real and helps provide value and change to people's lives that are in need of it. So I love that you mentioned holistic. That is such a popular catchphrase right now, a popular buzzword in the health and wellness space. For you, how do you define that, or how does TherAnnu define the idea of holistic? What does that mean?
I would say, I think, and I agree, there's a lot of different ways you can interpret that, but looking at the body as a whole. So one example would be our skin therapy. We're not just looking at what's on the skin. We're not just going to recommend a topical product. We're going to look at what's going on the inside. So you could have a certain inflammation, something going on with your gut, your liver, and that's going to manifest as a skin problem. So if we just continue to put products on your skin, it's not going to improve until you improve what is going on the inside. Same with pain. If I'm treating somebody for, chronic low back pain and they have a vitamin deficiency, if they don't have enough B vitamins, magnesium, they don't have enough support for their muscles to sustain what they're doing, and they're going to continue to have pain. So it's putting all of those pieces together is where I see holistic, and then just natural, organic, non-toxic, where we're not putting more problems into the body while we're trying to fix them.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. So then there's a whole like retail side to TherAnnu as well, correct? Like products that you're selling. So like for those, like are those products that you guys are like, is it proprietary to you guys? You guys like tell me a little bit about that side of it.
So we curate that to match our culture and our vision. And yes, they're all natural. We'll sell, different supplements that I'll be recommending to patients all of the time. We'll sell the Osmosis skincare line. It does the skin mapping, and there's vitamins and supplements and things that go with that. But yeah, it's going to be items that are, along those holistic lines.
Yeah, that's so good. So you mentioned, I want to go back to something you mentioned the right fit and how crucial that is in the early stages of a franchise development. And I think you're spot on, because like, especially when you're early and you're trying to just get that first one across the line, or the first 10 across the line. It's so hard when you have some people it seems like some people ready to go, chomping at the bits, they want to jump at it. And it's almost like, this is all we have right now, so let's sell them the territory, and we'll figure it out, knowing there's some major red flags here. I don't know if they're ready or whatever it might be, whether it's financially or leading staff members, or they aren't really passionate about this. They just want to be in the space, like whatever reason you guys would have for disqualifying someone. Tell us more about the kind of person really that thrives at TherAnnu. What kind of individual would thrive as a TherAnnu franchise owner?
I would put them into two buckets. And first, of course, I think really for either bucket that they, like I said before, they need to be passionate about it. They need to live a healthy lifestyle. They need to understand why we're choosing all natural cleaning products in the spa. They need to understand why we're serving, the organic gluten-free cookies at the snack bar, and things like that. So they need to appreciate the mission and use the services. And that's the few that we've talked to that, that we're really passionate about, and we're, going to bring them forward are just that they are so excited about the natural and the holistic side of life. The other side of it is I would love to bring on some physical therapists. I think that physical therapists are just awesome people. They're just so hardworking, and they're kind, caring, intelligent, and the physical therapy world is kind of with reimbursement rates going down. They're struggling. And they're burning out. And I think this is a great opportunity for them to bring their skills into something like this, and I'm thrilled that I did.
Yeah. Would it be a requirement? Is it a requirement for franchise owners to have physical therapists or anyone with certain kinds of degrees or certifications to run a TherAnnu?
You don't have to, and it does depend on the state. There are a few states where you have to have a physical therapist
Okay.
involved in the ownership,
Yeah.
but maybe not, directly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but you're going to have to hire a physical therapist
Yeah.
opening, in
Okay.
order to
And are
open.
you guys well prepared for those states where that's the case? Because I think that is kind of an issue with some health and wellness brands and why they don't last is they're not necessarily prepared to understand how to handle those kinds of regulations and how to actually help a franchise owner
Mhm.
do that in a state where those things are required, as opposed to just going, oh, just so you know, you're going to need this, this, this. Good luck. Go get them. Like, how are you guys prepared to really help franchise owners there?
Yeah, it's really not that complicated. Like
Yeah.
for when we started doing IV therapy a few years ago, we had to bring on a nurse practitioner, and
Mm-hmm.
she is completely virtual. We
Mm.
don't see her
Oh,
in the
nice.
building much at all. It's more of she is our medical director, so she is the person responsible for the IV services. She's the person that the RNs go to if there's a patient question,
Mm.
or we want to change up a formula or something like that.
Okay.
So we just put out an ad on Indeed. We found her.
Mm.
We created a relationship with her. A lawyer drew up
Yeah.
the contract. It was $2,000, and we were done. And that's
Easy.
been great for the past 3-4 years.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. What a asset to leverage for your business. And you're right. Physical therapists seem to have, I mean, have devoted so much of their life to the health and well-being of others.
Yeah.
Like bring them in if you can. Absolutely. That
Mhm.
makes complete sense, but not necessarily a requirement, but strong guidance there from you. Let's talk then scalability. How have you built systems and training, the educational side of this and support to really ensure their new franchisees can grow consistently over time?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the education and the training that we've put together. That has been a mission of mine for a long time, and I would say a year or two ago, we nailed it, and we've got it working
Okay.
perfectly. A good example of this is we had a staff meeting about a month ago, and we were
Mm-hmm.
trying to stump our staff. We did Mythbusters about our core services. So it was about
Yeah.
all of these technology-based services. And we had them broken into teams. We were going, question after question after question. We could not stump them.
Yeah.
we were trying to find a winner, and we couldn't. So I was pretty proud of them, that they really get it.
Got it.
They
Yeah.
understand the services down
Mm-hmm.
to the core. So yeah, we put together computerized modules where they go through and they read, and then there's quizzes. We put in videos for them to see the services in action, to kind of see the science behind what's happening with some of the
Hmm.
services. And I mean, it's on a higher level for a lot of them,
Okay.
but enough that they can explain it to the clients.
Yeah.
I think is the most important thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So remind me, how long have you been building out the system, from to where you're at today, to building out the training, the support, all this stuff. How long is it really taking you to develop all this?
Well, I think that's complicated. 2017
For
is
sure.
when we started,
Yeah.
very roughly, and
Yeah.
then 2020 was when it became a little bit more. It looks more like TherAnnu does now,
Yeah.
and then I think
Mhm.
we really dove into it the past 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Is
But
where we really
that's so
muscled in.
important to note though, that you really started almost a decade ago
Yeah.
when you and I are talking today, right? 2017
Mhm.
is almost a decade ago now. And every franchise is going to go through different phases of development and change. And especially those that are worth their salt, they're going to go through changes just as
Yeah.
they learn and grow, as they continue to build, as culture changes, as time goes on. Like there's going to be those phases. So to know that you guys have already been through a couple of those and are confident now, knowing, hey, we've ironed out a lot of the speed bumps that an owner is gonna
So many.
will potentially walk through, so they don't have to. That's the joy and the really the value of the franchising world, is being able to take those away for people. So incredible. Tell me about what about the client experience? What else? Anything else you want to share that kind of sets TherAnnu apart from other wellness concepts out there?
Yeah, I'd say our client experience is different in 3 ways. We have a restorative roadmap session.
Okay.
So when clients first come in, or even if they've been there a while and they want to learn more, they sit down with a wellness guide and we learn about their goals.
Okay.
We want to know about what's their urgency. How quickly do they want to achieve these goals? We learn about financial constraints. We learn about time constraints. And then we put a plan together for them. And we might put together memberships or packages in order to save them money. But we're going to tell them, you need to come in for your massage every 2 weeks. You need to come in for sauna twice a week. And then you need to do maybe a physical therapy dry needling consultation. So we're putting together that comprehensive plan for them. So that's first. Second is recommendation forms. Every time a client comes in, they've got a recommendation form attached to their chart. And the provider is going to recommend when they're going to come back. So we're always we're looking into the future with our clients. When are we going to see you again? And what services can I recommend to add on? That's going to help you towards your goals. So we have all of our staff trained to do that each session. And then our memberships. So our memberships are quite different than you would see in a typical space where they're very flexible. So it allows clients to base what service they're going to do that month on what issues they're having. So they don't have to just keep doing massage. They could pivot and do stretch therapy. They could do even some 30 minutes of dry needling. They could get a facial. They could get a body scrub if they're going on vacation. So there's a lot of options within our memberships.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Tell me about the kind of clientele that you guys are typically reaching? Because I think that's an important part to seeing ongoing growth and success for people in the wellness space is understanding who your average or your target audience is. Are you guys typically reaching, elderly individuals? Is it typically the suburban mom who's looking for some of these services? Is it athletes that are looking for healing restoration? And, what is it? And I know it's like the tendency for us is to go, well, we serve everybody, right? And it's like, I get that. I understand that these are applicable to everyone in need of restoration. But does TherAnnu have a target audience, someone that you're typically seeing or trying to service?
Yeah, I would say a woman between the ages of 40 and 60 is our target. That is who we're going to see most of the time. But like you said, we've got the gamut. We've got college kids in there doing different services, and we've got 80-year-olds that come in for services as well. So, but that middle, the 40 to 60, and I'm proud that we're accessible. We have teachers, we have receptionists. We've made kind of the spa environment accessible to everyone. And that's really special.
Yeah. That's so good. Looking ahead, where do you see the wellness and health industry heading in like the next 5 years?
I'm excited for it. And I know in the beginning you were talking about how it's a crowded space and there's a lot going on, but I like that.
Yeah.
I see it as it almost makes my job easier. When we started, we had to educate people on every single service. We had to say, this is what IV therapy is. This is why you should do it. But when you've got IV therapy already happening in the community, you just have to deliver it the best. And you have to build relationships so that clients are coming in to see you. But to that point, I see in the next 5 years, I would love to see wellness centers be like going to the dentist, that everybody has a dentist. Right?
Yeah.
I feel like everyone should have a wellness center that they're going to much more frequently than the dentist.
That's so true. That's the beauty of this space, is that every single individual can be a client, like as opposed to, we talked about home restoration brands earlier, companies like everybody, like in those businesses, everybody who owns a home is a client, but that's not every person. But in this space, literally every person has a body. and, they could potentially be a client. So a lot of opportunity there for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, and genuinely, thank you so much. I want to be mindful of your time, their audience's time as well. Thank you for being a part of this too. And friends, if you're interested in learning more, you think, hey, I want to maybe hop on board with this brand and this system, and you want to get connected and learn if this might be the right fit for you, talk about territory availability, and let's start that conversation. All you got to do right now is just type restore in the comments. Type restore in the comments, put that down below, and then we'll get a conversation going. And We'll reach out, whether you're live with us today or you are watching this down the road, even like a year or two from now. Type restore in the comments, and we'll reach out. We'll get a conversation and talk about next steps and kind of go from there. See if this might be the right fit. It's not, you're not typing restore to say I'm signing on the franchise agreement, I'm ready to move forward today. You literally legally cannot do that. That's not what you're doing. You're just raising your hand, going, "Hey, tell me more. I want to see if this might be the right fit. Have some questions." So, yeah. And while they're doing that, thank you so much. Anything else? Is there anything else you wanted to share or say or state about TherAnnu or anything for anybody that's even on the fence? Do this for me. What would you say for anybody that's on the fence right now about franchise ownership, and especially the health and wellness space? What's one thing that you would encourage them with or leave them with?
I would say getting into the franchise world, I think, is such a huge advantage versus just going out and opening a business on your own. Because I did that. It was a lot of work, made a lot of mistakes, a lot of expensive mistakes. So we can hand you the roadmap and literally walk you through every step and be your partner in that journey.
I love that language. Be your partner. That's how it should be, I believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not always the case with a lot of systems out there, but that's kind of the joy of what we get to do here at Fran Opps and the network we're part of with BAI is we are partners with a company like yours, TherAnnu, that we get to partner together to help you find franchise partners. And that's really what it is. It's about partnership. It's not, we're selling you something, good luck, make it happen. It's let's build this together so that way we're all successful. That's what it's about. So, and again, thank you so much for being a part of this, sharing your time, your wisdom. Excited to see you guys grow and to partner with you and help you find the right people, the right fit for TherAnnu, and then just to be able to provide these services to people all over the country. It's going to be really powerful. So again, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.